So, what if I told you that the entire future of technology, as we know it, was rewritten in just 7 days? I mean, not over a decade, not over a year, but in one single week. A week where the ground shifted under the feet of corporate giants, where new global powers emerged, and the very definition of what artificial intelligence can do was radically transformed. It really sounds like the opening of a science fiction novel, doesn't it? But this was the reality of the second week of September 2025. Welcome to Breakthrough Blueprint. I'm your host, Anis Merchant. And today, we're doing a deep dive. We're dissecting a week that was so monumental. I mean, historians may one day see it as a true watershed moment for AI. We're going to connect the dots between boardrooms in Redmond, labs in Abu Dhabi, and get this, even the halls of the Vatican. This is not just a review of headlines, okay? This is the story of the week AI's future. Well, it finally arrived. All right, let's start where the money and power are most concentrated, with the titans, OpenAI, and Microsoft. On September 11th, they announced this historic restructuring of their partnership. Now, to really understand why this is such a big deal, you have to remember OpenAI's, well, strange origins. It began with this really noble nonprofit mission, right? To benefit all of humanity. But to get the funding it needed, it was tied to Microsoft in this really complex capped profit arrangement. And tensions had been growing for months. OpenAI needed more freedom, more capital to fund its incredibly expensive research. So, the new deal, it allows OpenAI to finally transition into a more traditional for-profit company. You can almost think of it like a brilliant, a rebellious musician finally getting the freedom to leave their record label and go independent. But here's the $1 billion, or actually the $100 billion twist. That original nonprofit, the one with the mission to serve humanity, it gets to keep a stake in the new for-profit company. And that stake is valued at over $100 billion. Yeah, let that number sink in for a second. This isn't just about a big valuation, it's a whole new template for the entire industry. It signals the end of AI's, its awkward teenage years. The sector is maturing. It's evolving from these experimental collaborations into really sophisticated, high-finance business structures. This deal, it is now the blueprint for how you balance a grand public mission with the just colossal, eye-watering cost of building the next generation of intelligence. Okay, so while the giants of Silicon Valley were busy redrawing their own map, a new player made a really bold move on the global chessboard. Just 2 days earlier, September 9th, the United Arab Emirates launched K2 Think. And look, this isn't just another AI model. It's a strategic play for what people are now calling AI sovereignty. Nations are waking up to the fact that AI capability it's critical to national security, to competitiveness. So the UAE, through its Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence, they developed this powerful reasoning model specifically to compete with America's OpenAI and China's DeepSeek. And their strategy is just incredibly clever. Instead of a closed proprietary model that they would, sell, they made K2 Think open source. Their goal isn't direct revenue, it's influence. It's about becoming that credible third option for all the other nations out there that are getting wary of relying only on the two dominant AI superpowers. I mean, it's the 21st century space race, but the finish line isn't the moon, it's technological independence. Now, of course, there's a nuance here. The model still relies on chip architectures designed in the US and China, but it's a powerful statement. The UAE just proved that smaller nations can punch far, far above their weight in this new global game. So, we have corporate evolution, we have a new geopolitical race, but where's the moral compass in all this? I mean, who's asking if we should do these things, not just if we can? On September 13th, that voice came from an unexpected yet really powerful place, the Vatican. Pope Leo XIV convened a global summit on AI ethics, uniting world leaders, tech execs, Nobel laureates, just everyone. Building on their ongoing Rome call for AI ethics, the message was unequivocal. AI development must prioritize human dignity and serve the common good. This is just incredibly significant. For too long, the rules of AI have been debated almost exclusively by engineers and politicians, right? This summit shows that moral and religious institutions are now taking a central role. They're asking the fundamental questions about human purpose and dignity that, purely commercial frameworks might overlook. It gives a global platform to concerns about AI making inequality worse or diminishing human agency, the very same concerns echoed by people like Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI himself. And then, wow, there was the technology itself. The week was an absolute explosion of breakthroughs. Gartner's new hype cycle. It officially placed AI agents at the very peak of inflated expectations. And to be clear, these are not your phone's simple assistants. No. We are talking about autonomous systems that can reason, plan, and, this is the key, execute complex, multi-step tasks all on their own. We saw this made real almost immediately with the announcement of Replit's Agent 3. It's an AI that can autonomously code, test, and debug software for up to 200 minutes straight. That is a tenfold leap in capability from its predecessor. It's like having a junior developer on your team who never sleeps, never gets tired, and works for over 3 hours without a single coffee break. This isn't a tool anymore. It's a digital colleague. And investors noticed, They poured $250 million into the company at a staggering $3 billion valuation. At the very same time, AI got more personal, more powerful right in our own hands. Google's AI Edge Gallery now allows these sophisticated models to run directly on your phone without an internet connection. This is a huge win for privacy and, for the billions of people worldwide with limited or no connectivity. Okay. Meanwhile, Anthropic gave its Claude AI an automatic memory. So, no more re-explaining yourself, right? The AI remembers your previous conversations, making interactions feel fluid and natural, like talking to a person who actually listens and remembers what you said yesterday. And in the creative space, stability. AI's Stable Audio 2.5 introduced audio in painting. Yeah. Imagine uploading a song and having the AI seamlessly compose a new guitar solo or extend the ending in the exact same style of the original artist. The creative possibilities are just staggering. So, what does this all mean when you step back and look at the whole chaotic, incredible week? I see 4 critical trends taking permanent shape. First, the AI industry. It's now a mature, high-stakes economic powerhouse. The days of experimental side projects they're officially over. Second, the global competition for AI sovereignty is real, and it is accelerating. Third, ethics is no longer a footnote, it's a headline with diverse global voices demanding a seat at the table. And fourth, and maybe most importantly, the technology itself is rapidly approaching true autonomy, moving from a tool we command to an agent that acts on our behalf. This inflection point was just undeniable. The AI revolution is no longer some distant promise. It is our complex, fast-moving, and challenging present. And as these systems integrate ever deeper into our lives, the scrutiny will only grow stronger. The Federal Trade Commission's new inquiry into child safety on AI platforms, that's just the beginning of a new era of oversight. The events of that single week provide both a profound inspiration for what we might achieve and a stark caution about the responsibilities that come with such power. It's a blueprint for a future that arrived, well, faster than anyone expected. Now, here's a question I'd like you to think about until our next episode. We saw AI agents that can code for hours and AI that can generate advertisements for thousands of businesses, automating tasks we once thought required a human touch. As this trend of hyper-automation continues, what is the one uniquely human skill or quality? Not a technical skill, but a fundamentally human one, that you believe will become exponentially more valuable, not less. That's all for this edition of Breakthrough Blueprint. I'm Anis Merchant. Thank you for listening.